Hello, Charlotte, North Carolina. Welcome to another episode of Community Connections here on charlottenow.tv. My name is Sam Ettaro. I am your host and producer, and appreciate your patience as we took, a little hiatus during the holiday season. But it is now early 2023, if you can believe it, and I'm back on the interwebs telling interesting stories about interesting people that are helping to make Charlotte an awesome place to live and do business. And today we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, music and the power of music. Specifically, we are going to discuss the art, the craft, the science, and the healing power of music therapy, and a new program here in Charlotte serving families in the Charlotte metro area that helps them harness that in conjunction with a couple different partners that you'll learn about. My guest on the show today is going to introduce all that to us and a little bit more, and then we'll tell you about this free opportunity for you and your family to get engaged in this. First, before we do that, I am proud and I am humbled to announce our new partnership with our new sponsor. We got a sponsor here at charlottenow.tv. I'm very excited to announce that, and I want to encourage you to get hold of the fine folks at Life Connections of the Carolinas and let them know that you appreciate their support of independent media in Charlotte, North Carolina, and their sponsorship of the Community Connections segment here on charlottenow.tv. So this is their first show that they're sponsoring, and I want to thank them publicly and encourage you to get in touch with them. They've been doing great work for well over a decade, helping to keep young people out of prison. And let's learn a little bit more about Life Connections, our sponsor for this episode of Community Connections, and then we'll be back with our special guest. This episode of Community Connections is brought to you by our friends at Life Connections of the Carolinas. And I couldn't think of a better partner to have in this endeavor because the great folks at Life Connections really exemplify the spirit of Community Connections, which is great people making Charlotte a great place to live. Simply put, they help to keep kids out of jail and keep families connected. And they do this by providing programs and services that are designed to, quote, develop adolescents and strengthen homes. They call these the DASH programs, and they include programs focused on helping families better their best, supportive mentoring and counseling programs, restorative justice programs, and even vocational education and re-entry programs, which offer unique learning environments and opportunities for a new, productive life after incarceration. Be sure to check them out online at lifeconnections.us and learn more about this agency and how they may be able to help you, your family, or someone you love. Support their efforts if you wish, and even volunteer if you are so inclined. And there you go. Again, contact our sponsor at lifeconnections.us and learn more about them and thank them for sponsoring this episode. All right, without further ado, let's talk about music therapy. Our special guest today on the show, Gretchen Chardos Benner from Piedmont Music Therapy. She's going to tell us all about her career and what they do at Piedmont and their new program servicing the families and the young people of the Charlotte metro area. Gretchen, thanks so much for joining us on Community Connections.
Thank you so much, Sam. Happy New Year. I'm glad to be here.
Same to you. And I got to say, thanks for your patience, too. We went back and forth for several weeks trying to get this show put together, and the holidays and scheduling conflicts, and it was a real challenge. So I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule and helping people with the power of music, coming on and telling us about it here on charlottenow.tv. So why don't we start with that? Let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about Gretchen and how you became a board certified music therapist and why. And then we'll go right into what you guys do at the Piedmont Music Therapy. Floor is yours.
All right. Thank you, Sam.
Absolutely.
So I actually went to college for music therapy. Initially, I was just looking for a viola performance conservatory route just to perform on viola, my primary instrument. And it turned out that the school I attended in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, also had a music therapy degree program. So I dual enrolled to pursue a Bachelor of Science degree in music therapy and a Bachelor of Arts degree in viola performance. And what really made me say I want to add this as a major to viola performance was that I was doing a clinical observation just as a freshman college student, since it is a college degree. And part of the orientation class, Sam, required you to do like field observations of music therapists in the greater Pittsburgh area. And my one clinical observation was with older adults, which I found to be very impressive as far as the faculties that just quickly resume with older adults that might have dementia in the aging process. And so I had ridden my first public bus to get there in Pittsburgh. It was very, a lot of emotions for a fresh student from South Carolina in Pennsylvania. And another clinical observation, which really
I didn't tell you, I'm from North Central Pennsylvania. And I have driven the roads of Pittsburgh many, 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 many times. So I imagine one of the emotions you were feeling on a bus on the roads of Pittsburgh was abject horror.
Yeah, Port Authority.
They do not have the infrastructure to accommodate the drivers or the population there. That's for sure.
Yeah, the potholes alone. Yeah, you definitely feel the springs movement of the bus. So
it's the only city I've ever been in my life. Unbelievable. You're driving down the road and it's like what the exit that you're looking for. You're 3 lanes over, and then you go around this tunnel, or you go around this quick curve, and then all of a sudden it's turn left here, and you got to cut across three lanes of traffic in like 15 feet.
Yes, the bridges and the tunnels, it's a lot, plus pedestrians.
It's insane. Yeah. So you started out really seeing this impact that this could have with adults.
Right. But what really sealed the deal for me with that decision that I want to be a part of this intimately was observing music therapy at the Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh. And it was really
good for you.
Useful benefit for the parents to calm them down during a very traumatic medical situation, a procedure for their kiddo, and just the procedural support that a trained person was able to do in this extremely medical setting. I had never even considered how the arts would be integrated. So that was very helpful for me to help acknowledge, yes, I do want to pursue this as a degree path. And then after your 4 years of college, you have to do an internship. So the internship I did was up in Cleveland, Ohio. So back to that potholes and infrastructure. That was another city not to bike on because I'm a road biker.
Snow and ice.
Anywho, my internship was the last part of my process to be a music therapist. Then that made me eligible to sit for the board exam. So any music therapist you meet, you can always fact check them on certification board for musictherapist.org to ensure that they did complete their credential and they're up to current professional continuing ed credits.
Yeah, I think a lot of people might be looking at this or reading the thumbnail and they see music therapy and they think it's just, some people sitting around a campfire with a guitar and a djembe and singing Kumbaya. It's so much more than that, is it not? Tell us what it takes to become a music therapist and really the importance of this. I would call it. I mean, it's obviously there's a psychological component, there's an emotional component, there's a physical component, right? So it's a discipline. It's a healing discipline. I would couch it as. Tell us what it takes to become a music therapist, and what exactly it is. What's a day in your life look like?
Sure. So really just that college degree, completing a clinical internship at an approved program somewhere in the U.S. or abroad, and then sitting for the board exam. So that gives me that credential, board certified music therapist, MTBC. And so a day in a music therapist realm, in an outpatient setting, we could be working with little kids that have developmental delays or communication issues due to a stressor in the family. Perhaps They have been exposed to trauma from a young age due to a foster care process or familial issues at home. So there could be some heavy issues that traditional talk therapy might not be as conducive for, because when music is involved, it just naturally is this beautiful blanket that just brings people together.
Right.
In turn, though, that music therapist is going to be strategizing whether we're working on attention skills, communication, problem solving, self-expression, all those like nitty-gritty goals and objectives that we're tracking on a weekly basis if they're weekly appointments. And then we work with youth, teens that might have mental health issues like anxiety or depression.
And do you integrate as well with their family members to then work as a family unit utilizing music therapy?
Yes, we definitely try to keep everyone in communication for what we're working on, what we're seeing. Is that what you're seeing, in the home setting? And some practical suggestions to help that music and that creative and expressive spirit continue. Because at the end of the day, we want what's best for the client. So music therapy could work with youth. It could also work with adults that are dealing with repercussions after a stroke or a traumatic brain injury. And music therapy could be a specific strategy to help. Since music, you're a musician, it connects both hemispheres of the brain. So naturally, it's just going to help with the synapses and neuroplasticity in just a very empowering way that other modalities might feel like full work. Music therapy,
right,
though
like physical therapy.
Right, yes.
Now, do you in your discipline, do you and have you worked in conjunction with a physical therapist, say, or a psychologist?
Yes.
And you actually put together a team approach to the healing process?
We currently with Piedmont Music Therapy, we more do treatment planning by once we have a consent shared, we'll reach out to learn what goals they're working on to try to collaborate that way. But certainly in medical settings, co-treatment, whether it's a physical therapist, occupational therapist, or speech language pathologist, in tandem, they work collaboratively in real time, which can be super rewarding and beneficial to feed off of one another. And again, working with the trust and rapport they've established with that patient, it's optimal for all because, especially in mental health setting, there takes a lot of trust to open up if someone's not having the best of days, let alone years, due to stressors going on.
Yeah, and no doubt about it, there are a lot of stressors in our society. We started the show talking about our sponsors here with Life Connections and what they do in keeping young people out of jail. There's so many things that the young people of our community and their families are facing, and it's difficult growing up these days, and I appreciate folks like you that are out there in the community making a difference in our community, and I think it's really cool. I mean, we should say, obviously, Piedmont is a private practice, and there are fees that are associated with private practice. Not everybody can afford that. Maybe not everybody wants to go down that road. Maybe they're not convinced they want to try this out. So I think it's awesome, this relationship that you guys set up with the Arts and Science Council and this free series of workshops that you all are offering to the Charlotte metro area. Tell us a little bit about your partnership with it's ASC, right? And
sure, yeah,
what they
ASC.
do and how they got involved, and then how folks can take advantage of this opportunity through this series of workshops.
Sure. So we partnered with Arts and Science Council to provide a Culture Blocks program. So
hold on.
Blocks.
Hold on. I hit the wrong button. I brought me up.
Okay.
I was supposed to bring you up. I had the wrong button, wrong thing in queue. Okay.
Sure.
All right. So, so hold on. So we started the show telling you about the program that is currently running in conjunction with the Arts and Science Council, and it is a series of free workshops for families and youth called Songs with Friends. And Gretchen, tell us a little bit about the folks at ASC, what they do for the community briefly, and how you got involved with them, and then how can folks take advantage of this opportunity?
Certainly. So, Arts and Science Council is a wonderful organization in Charlotte, and closely we are partnered as a cultural arts provider for Culture Blocks. So, Culture Blocks is a community partnership funded by Mecklenburg County, and so there are lots of agencies that are supporting this endeavor for neighbors to have free access to the arts. And so those direct sponsors for Culture Blocks are Mecklenburg Parks Recreation, Charlotte Mecklenburg Library System, the City of Mecklenburg County, and Arts and Science Council. So we are offering Songs with Friends. It's an 8-week interactive music program for young children or young adults with diverse abilities. And we're meeting either in Southwest Charlotte or Steel Creek for the 8-week program. And it should be lots of fun. We already have some registrants that have filled out the website link or called us on the phone. And it's a way for these participants to have skilled ways to use music for coping and to build their familial relationships, as well as meet some other friends and peers, especially in this inclusive model that your disability might be a physical one or it could be a mental one, which is why it's a very broad description, Sam, of diverse abilities. So that way people can resonate, oh, that works for my kiddo or my grown child or myself or not, and pass it on to other neighbors that might be interested in learning about it.
And let's face it, ultimately, it's great to get out into the community and meet new people, right? And what better way to do it than over music? I mean, music is a powerful motivator. It's a powerful tool for healing. It can lift you up. It can do so much, and it brings community together. So I think no matter what, people are going to be leaving these workshops and these classes making new friends, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yes, I agree.
Awesome. Well, why don't we go ahead and wrap this up and tell us a little bit about what folks can expect at the workshops. And I see you have workshops for young adults and for young children. Let's maybe talk a little bit about the differences between those programs, and then how do they get in touch with you? And we'll go ahead and wrap up the show.
Thank you so much, Sam.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
So the program for young children with their family members, which includes their young siblings or their parent or their grandparent, is an 8-week program that will meet at the Steel Creek Library branch for the initial 6 weeks. And they'll be working on turn taking, sharing, playing instruments. Of course, we're going to be using live instruments every time. So you don't have to have any musical skills. You don't have to bring an instrument. We'll also be doing a lot of body percussion. And participants, it is limited enrollment.
Kind of like...
Right, yes.
Yeah, right.
Yes, indeed. Participants will receive...
Or I can knock on my hollow head.
Participants will receive their own glockenspiel. Which
so they don't have to own or bring instruments.
Correct.
Cool.
But they will receive an instrument through the program that's color-coded. Because we're going to be working on them playing the instruments every week, because as you said, it's just a fun way to interact, let alone with their sibling or their guardian or other peer age kiddos. And so that's the 8-week program for young children, Songs with Friends. Mm-hmm. They'll meet Thursdays at Steel Creek Library. And then flip side, for young adults with diverse abilities, there's either a Tuesday evening or a Thursday afternoon program in Southwest Charlotte at the Arbor Glen Outreach Center through Mecklenburg Parks and Rec. And so our programs, because I'm one of the facilitators with Gabby Jones, will be doing a lot more interactive because they're young adults with some games to explore coping skills, how to use music on a daily basis for stress management, and like you said, to meet and greet with more neighbors in Charlotte through music. So we will be bringing ukuleles, drums. They too will receive a modified chromatic glockenspiel to keep that's color coded. Cool. Again, if music's fun, might as well keep it going outside of this free series. That's
the idea, right? All right. So that's awesome. Beautiful what you guys are doing. Real quick, well, not only how do people get in touch with you, but being a a therapy business, your office, if somebody isn't a music therapist and they're not board certified to do this or to teach this or to take part in that aspect of it, through these workshops and different events. I mean, you guys do different events in other venues as well as part of what you do. Are there ways that the public can get directly involved? I mean, are there volunteer opportunities perhaps?
We do welcome volunteers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, well, tell us a little more about that, and then how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, I think we've made sure to welcome volunteers maybe 4 to 5 years now. You just sign up on the website that you're interested in volunteering. You complete a digital application, so that way we can contact some references and learn ages 16 and up why you're interested in volunteering with PMT. Sam, some of those previous volunteers have pursued a music therapy degree, which is just so phenomenal.
That's awesome.
That one student, is at Converse College currently.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful. But we just welcomed a newer volunteer who is an older adult that has time available and a skill set that likes to help laminate, sanitize materials. Those are the nitty gritty of what a volunteer does.
Yeah, take care of the instruments. I got you.
Yes. The bulk of our work is out and about Charlotte. So we do a lot of packing, repacking, recounting, and labeling. But yeah, our website's piedmontmusictherapy.com. And the contact webpage is how they can complete an inquiry form, also learn more about volunteering and other community programs. And then the Culture Blocks Songs with Friends, the website to learn more and consider registering, since it is free but limited enrollment, is piedmontmusictherapy.com/ASC for Arts and Science Council -info, INFO. And the families, we're capping it at 8 registered families, so that way it's not going to be too loud since we're going to be using instruments for the series. And the young adult program, we're capping it at 12. Similarly, not everyone is a group person. So we want to make sure no one feels uncomfortable in a large group. So we are capping it at 12 with one facilitator.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you for what you're doing to make Charlotte an awesome place to live. And hats off to you and your colleagues there at Piedmont and your partners that are helping to put these programs together. And Gretchen, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Sam, for your persistence. We're really excited, and congrats on the new sponsor as well.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited as well. They're great people doing incredible things. Actually, I said a little over a decade. I think it's going on 20 years now. They're doing amazing stuff for the community, and I'm honored that they're partnering with us. So, Gretchen, thank you again. Happy New Year to you, and maybe I'll come out and make some music with you guys sometime.
Yeah, thanks, Sam.
Absolutely. Take care. And there you have it. Learn a little bit about Piedmont Music Therapy and the Songs with Friends series, offered in partnership with the Arts and Science Council right here, Charlotte, North Carolina. My name is Sam Ettaro, coming to you for CharlotteNow.tv. This is a segment we call Community Connections, proudly brought to you by our friends at Life Connections of the Carolinas. I encourage you to check them out online. Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode. And again, if you want to get involved with Charlotte Now, hey, I never, when I started this thing, I didn't envision it being the Sam Ettaro Show. I mean, I love this and I love being on camera. I love doing what I do. But you know what? There are wonderful people out there with talent, some more so than me. And maybe you guys want to get out into the community. You want to do a show like this. You want to have your own show. You want to go out and have me produce for you. Maybe I'll point the camera at you and we go out into the streets of Charlotte and talk to people and tell interesting stories. That would be great. I would love to talk with you if you would like to lend your voice and talent to CharlotteNow.tv. Artist, musician, on-camera personality, videographer. Let's talk. My name is Sam Ettaro. Thanks for tuning in to CharlotteNow.tv. We'll see you next time around. Peace.